started studying for the LSAT last year, but it's been not steady. Maybe I take a week and then I forget about it for like a month or two. And then I said, okay, I'm going to start now again. And I started for a week. And then, it's been going along that way. Last year, I took it seriously. I started studying seriously in December. Well, I shouldn't say seriously, November. I would say November last year. And I took a jump and I took the test in January. I scored like 143, which was, as I said, it was expected because of the amount of time that I had devoted for the LSAT, plus the sections I received. I kind of guessed like in one entire section of the logic gains because I got scared, whatever it was. I just didn't do well. So I'm scheduled for the April now, but I don't think I'm going to take it anyways, but I'm scheduled for the April. But this time I want to take my time seriously and I want to do something that really puts me in the place I want to be. I'm not shooting for a T14 top school. I am old and I have kids at home and I'm 37 and I'm not going to one of those top schools. I'm not driving 3 hours away from home. I'm just going to my local law school. Their requirements, it's like the lowest, like the median GP, LSAT, it's like 154, 155. That's like the median. So that's what I'm shooting for, to be honest. I'm not shooting for the sky, but I want to make it there and I'm not there yet. But because I don't take the time. Understood. Well,
having kids definitely poses a challenge to putting in the time that you might like. But if you don't take it in April, no big deal. You can push it back and still apply at the very beginning of the cycle in the fall. Are you looking to apply this fall?
Yeah. See, I have this thing in my head that many people have told me that I shouldn't be thinking this way because I think I'm old. And I'm getting to that age and I see 4 years ahead of me after I go to law school. I think for myself, waiting another year, it's like a waste of time. That's how I see it. And I know I probably need to stop thinking that way. So yes, I'm still shooting for fall, but I am coming to realize that this might not be happening.
Because you don't like the idea of waiting a bit longer?
Because I don't like the idea of wasting. I see it this way. I see it that way. I see that if I take another 6 months to study, I'm still going to have to wait another year because it's fall, September. So like basically doing nothing with my life. That's for me like a 1 year. Like I'm going to be 1 year older. That's how I see it. And that's probably bad, but that's how I see it.
Well, you still have another 20, 30 years of your career ahead of you, right?
Exactly.
And so you actually have more time ahead of you than you do behind you.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm 36 and I don't know.
You're not going to law school. You're going to law school.
No, I'm not personally going to law school, but despite what I've done so far, I still think there's way more that could be done ahead. And there's going to be people, I've talked with people who are in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s.
I know, I've seen it.
Going to law school. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to go aside from just career for your own intellectual stimulation. And there's career benefits too, obviously. But you have another year is nothing in the grand scheme of things. And whether you applied now at the very tail end of the current cycle or the beginning of the next one, it's up to you. But regardless, another year in the grand scheme of things, when we talk about the context of 20 to 30 years ahead, at the very least, where you could have your legal career, it's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. My sister told me that. She's like, Daddy, you got to stop thinking like that. You just got to take your time and just do it when you're really ready. Because if you just keep taking tests like this, first of all, you're going to waste all your chances to do it. I am not. So it's not that I don't care about the money, because who doesn't want to go to law school for free? Like anyone. Right now I'm paying loans because of my bachelor's degree. So it's not that I don't care about the money, but that's not going to stop me from going to law school if I have to pay for law school. You know what I mean? So my score is not because I want to shoot for like grants or scholarships or anything like that. My score is just to get in. Uh, but of course, yeah, if I can get that, if I can get in with the money, yeah, who doesn't want that? Yeah. But right now, my biggest struggle is finding a schedule that I can stick with. So this is me the night before. Tomorrow I'm gonna do this and that and that, and then between this time and this time, I'm gonna study for the LSAT. I'm gonna rest, and then I'm gonna do that. Guess what? It's 3 o'clock. Haven't done that yet. So I procrastinate a lot, and I know you can't fix that, but that's my biggest issues right now.
I hear you. Yeah, I mean, what other obligations do you have specifically? You're working. Do you have kid-related things you have to do?
I work. I am a tax preparer and I'm a real estate agent. Although I do both part-time, it's not like I'm full-time. And then, yes, I do have my kids. I have a 19, he's in college, but he doesn't count because I don't, he doesn't take time away from me. But then I have 11, a 7, and a 4. Obviously the 11 and the 4, the 7, they're in school during the day, and the 4 is home with me, but she's very nice. She's not like, she doesn't take my time, like other kids do. And then my husband, when he's home, takes my time. Yeah. So, but yes, I have a big family and I do work part-time, but I have the time to study. It's just taking that time that I'm finding difficult to do it. And then when I do find the time to do it, I feel overwhelmed with like, what should I do now? Do I do this first? Do I cut here first? And then I wander around and I'm like, okay, that's it. I'll start tomorrow. It's like a diet. Tomorrow I'll start for sure. And then next day, I'll start next day. So that's what I've been doing.
Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, honestly, I'm feeling jealous of you when you say you have a 4-year-old who is easy and doesn't take your time, because I have a 3-year-old and he takes a ton of time. And I am so grateful for the time that he's not at home where I can get my work done, because if he gets home now and hears me on this call, he's going to be banging on the door trying to get into my office. So, okay, yeah. I mean, so take advantage of the lucky situation you have, at least that before the 7 and 11-year-old come home, you've just got the 4-year-old to manage, and she's pretty easy, it sounds like, for the most part.
Yeah, so she is. Yeah.
Grab those hours while you can. Grab that time. And you're talking about the procrastination element. Listen, I get it. Well, could you start small? Could you say, I'll just do 30 minutes or I'll just do an hour today, and start there?
I could probably do that, but I find myself when I really do it, I need more time. So I'm very slow. I'll start with that. So when I'm taking the LSAT, I'm taking with 100% of the time. So I have that accommodation because I tend to read and reread and reread and reread again. And even when I do the questions, I reread again because I don't understand what I'm reading, kind of a thing. So it doesn't stick to my head. So for me, taking half an hour is just basically taking maybe 2 questions at a time. Is that enough?
It's not the question of whether it's enough or not, because we know that doing 0 is definitely not enough.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm not suggesting to do 30 minutes or an hour in a single day, because it's going to get you the score that you need. You'll probably need to put in more time than that. But a lot of folks will fall into this trap where it becomes all or nothing. Then the nothing feels so much easier that just doing nothing. I mean, you could say similar for, you mentioned like the diet analogy before, where imagine someone who wants to start eating, I don't know, keto. And that's really difficult to imagine, right? Okay, am I guessing right? Okay. Yeah, I mean, keto's popular. I just threw it out there. But like, that's a pretty daunting obligation to say, I'm going to eat like 0 carbs, but I'm going to eat fewer than 20 carbs in a day or something. Like, that's so difficult that then folks just decide, you know what? Screw it, and go to the polar opposite and just start eating like bags of chips or something, right? Like, I'm suggesting that you do like 30 minutes or an hour just because it can build the habit. And then if you can do 30 minutes, then maybe the next day you could do 35 and then 40, and then you build up to an hour. and then you can build from there. But I just want you to get into the routine where you do the smallest increment that you would be willing to do. And if that was like doing a single question, just don't even make it time-based. Just say, I'm going to do one question and then check the answer. And then the next time I'm going to do one question, check the answer, watch an explanation, and then build it up gradually so that you get to a point where you can actually sit for a full section and then a full exam. And the double time accommodations is a blessing and a curse. You know, it's nice to have the time that you need, but that also creates a really long exam sitting. And so,
yeah, when I took it in January, it was like almost 7 hours. That took me, because I do almost take the whole hour and some change that they give me. And which, like you said, it's a blessing. At the same time, it's like, okay, I know I can take my time. So I feel more confident that I'm not rushing towards the clock. But again, it's, for me, it doesn't make a difference, because so many people can do it under 35 minutes. Let's put it that way. Even if I tried, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, not even guess half of the questions. So there goes my struggle. But thanking God that I have the time, I can do that. So it was a long day when I did it. But I was thankful that I had it.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely recommend using the time if you have it, because given the stakes of the exam and its importance in the process, you want to, if you have the ability to double check and triple check, why wouldn't you? I mean, if I had that amount of time, I would do every game.
No, you'll probably do it like 4 times.
Yeah, I would do
once. You probably do it like 4 times.
Well, I would if I could. You know, I mean, I'm from New York, and so we have these Regency exams where basically they're state administered final exams in high school, and they give you a full 3 hours for it. And if I was strong in a particular subject, for me, it was like history, for example, I would do the whole thing twice just because I could. And I wanted to get the highest score possible. And so if I could do the whole thing again and get another couple points, I was willing to go to that extent, because I placed importance on the exam. And the LSAT, forget it, how important that is. So I want to get you to the point where you can do a 7-hour sitting. And so it's going to take, starting even just with 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and build up gradually. Carve out that time while you can, while your 2 older kids, 7 and 11-year-old, are at school. And then over time, you'll get to the point where you'll be asking your husband to take them all out for the day, so you can just do a full sitting. Right.
Yeah. Okay. I just, well, you already know, I just signed up for your program, whatever it is that you have. I opened it once, right? When I thank you for allowing me in. So what do you suggest I start with? Because I noticed that, I can't remember, but I noticed there was 2 sections. One was like, I don't remember. Let me see if I find it.
Yeah, sure. I could tell you. So there's the foundational section. Then there's workshops. Yeah.
And the workshops. Which one is the one that I start with? The foundation?
I would start with foundational. I'd start with foundational.
And just follow that, the whole program through?
Yeah.
Okay, and don't jump to the other one.
Not yet. I mean, I'd start with foundational. The nice thing about that, if you're starting off and you're just looking to dip your toes in the water, is that the videos there are covering the basics. And they're bite-sized. I deliberately kept them as concise as possible to let you build the habit. So we're talking about getting over the procrastination, starting to build up the habit of putting in the time. I mean, I know this is not the most exciting thing, and there's a million other things you could be watching. And the fact that you've chosen to spend your time studying for the LSAT, to book this call with me, to have this conversation, that already shows that you're making a deliberate choice here. So let's get you on that road with the simplest, shortest path possible: a 5-minute video, a 3-minute video, a 7-minute video. If you can just do those and cross them off your list, you're making that forward progress. And then down the line, we'll get into the nitty-gritty details for different question types, but in the workshops. But for now, I'd start in foundational.
I start in foundations. Okay, we'll do that.
Awesome, great. And that contains super detailed day-by-day study plans. So if you want to just do a single day's work, that as a benchmark, you could do nothing but that.
Also, it does have that. I'm sorry, like I said, I just opened it and I scrolled through the whole thing. I was like, oh, this is a lot.
I know there is a lot there. There is a lot there. Yeah, I try to give you as much as possible.
Which one do I do? It's like I'm gonna wait for the phone interview first.
For sure. For now, just start with day one.
Okay. All right, we'll do that. And I guess I would tell you how my progress is going. Oh, can you see in the accounts? Can you see that?
I can see it, but just shoot me an email and let me know if you have questions or roadblocks or concerns, and I'll do whatever I can to point you in the right direction and keep you moving forward.
Awesome. Okay. All righty. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I'll wish you all the best and take care.